All right, I'm just gonna move my chair back and out of the way for now. We can get going with warm up. So we'll start with 30 jumping jacks when you're ready. All right, 30 total. Coming back up. Nice tall standing position. Let's look over our right shoulder. And back through center over our left shoulder. Back to center, tilt the right ear down towards your right shoulder. And switch sides, left ear to left shoulder. Coming through center, let's go into our head roll. So drop the chin to the chest. Take that head all the way around, 3 circles to the right, 3 circles to the left. Keep your eyes open so you're not getting dizzy. 3 and 3. And carefully make your way back to center. We'll move down to our shoulders, bringing them up, around, and forward. Just a couple, just your shoulders moving. And you can start to incorporate your elbows. And then big arm circles whenever you're ready. Opening up that chest and shoulders. Let's do 2 more forward. And then reverse, starting with the shoulders, just going up, around, and back. And after a couple, you can add your elbows. And then big arm circles up, around, and back. Two more. And just bring those arms out to the side, swing them around in front. Let them go nice and easy, dropping shoulders away from your ears, getting all those tension out of your upper body. Shake it on out. We're going to move down to our hips, starting with our hip hinges, feet underneath your hips, knees unlocked, send your tailbone back. Back is flat. Feel that stretch in the back of your legs. So tonight, as promised, I said I wouldn't do lunges. This is a total body workout that does not involve lunges. Once you guys are there on Monday, let's do 2 more of these. We did quite a few lunges. So if you're feeling some aches from Monday, don't be scared. Today's a lunge-free session. We will do lower body, just no lunges. Take your feet nice and wide. Let's go into our hip hinges. So push that right hip up and out to the side. We end up doing 120 lunges on Monday, so I feel like we're pretty good for the week. And let's switch sides. And back to center. Walk your feet in a little bit if you need to, because we're going to go into hip circles to the left, front, right, and back. Do 3 circles around, and then switch directions. Switch 3. And once you get your 3, you can bring those feet all the way back in right underneath your hips, unlock your knees, hands to your kneecaps, drop those kneecaps down and around to the right. And then reverse down around to the left. And coming back up to standing, let's just go into calf hip flexor stretch. So just let's take that lunge stance, not quite a lunge, but shallow lunge stance. Back foot's going to be flat on the ground, back leg straight, bend and extend that front knee. So you start to feel that in the back calf. If you don't feel in the back calf, take your foot back a little bit further. You should be able to feel it. Let's do 3 more and we'll switch sides. And just switching over to the other side, find that split stance first. Back leg straight, front leg bended, extend, feeling that stretch in the back calf. Let's do 2 more on this side. And coming back to center, let's just finish with our ankles. So point and flex with the right foot. And ankle circles around to the right. And reverse ankle circles around to the left. And let's switch sides, point and flex with the left foot. And then circles to the left. And reverse circles to the right. And go ahead, shake it on out. Before I forget, I just remembered while we were warming up about one more announcement. I'll remind you guys next week as well, but we have a specialty class coming up on March 20th, which is a Saturday. Naoko and I, we have a contact, George Davis. He is in charge of the pain management center. He's a massage therapist, acupuncturist, like energy work person. But him and his staff, they only deal with chronic pain management. So his massage and all of that is all to do with pain. So he's going to be doing a session for us on Zoom on Saturday, March 20th. And the title, I think, is Living a Pain-Free Life. So he's going to talk about tactics on how to manage pain kind of holistically. And he'll talk about some of like kind of the specialty things that his practice does as well. He also has like a little pamphlet book that he has on pain management. And he's going to send that to everybody that attends the class. So we'll record it just like we do with all of our specialty stuff. So if you're not able to make it, you can always watch it later. But it's going to be 9 a.m. March 20th. I wanted to remember before I forget. I always forget about telling you guys about specialty classes. Okay, so first set of exercises tonight, you just need dumbbells. So our first exercise, we're going to be doing a sumo style deadlift. So I'm going to do this with one heavier dumbbell. If you don't have different size dumbbells, I want you to hold 2 dumbbells together, okay? But if you have like different sizes, take your heavier weight. You're going to start by holding it in the middle of your body. We're treating this just like a straight leg deadlift. Your legs are going to stay relatively straight. You're moving back with your hips. It's just sumo stance. We did this a couple weeks ago as well. So sumo just means your feet are wider than your hips and heel toes are out to the side, as opposed to traditional deadlift where we're kind of right here. Okay, so sumo, knees are unlocked, but you move from your hips. Your hips are going to go back as far as you can go, keeping the back flat, and then you're going to come up to standing. Okay, so side view, it's still motion through your hips, not motion through your knees. So different than a sumo squat. Okay, so grab your one weight, or if you don't have the heavy weight, grab maybe your 2 lighter weights and holding them together. Let's find sumo stance. We are going to do these for 12. So wide stance, toes out to the side, starting with that weight in the middle of the body, knees unlocked. Send your hips back to keep your chest lifted, go as far down as you can, and then reach, pull, come back up. 12 of these, focusing on feeling this in the inner outer thigh, but also in your hamstrings, like our regular deadlift. Breathe, squeeze on top. Keep that back flat the whole time. 12 total. Once you get your 12, if you've got your heavier weight, you're just going to send that off to the side. Our second movement, our upper body movement, you need 2 weights for. So if you have lighter dumbbells, maybe grab those. We're going to be doing an upright row. So feet can come right back in underneath your hips, unlock your knees. Palms are faced back towards your body. Roll your shoulders down. Upright row, we lead with our elbows. Elbows come high above our shoulders. Dumbbells come to chest height, and then we release down. We're doing these for 12 as well. So keep those knees unlocked. Pull up, think vertical with your pull, and then release back down. Keeping those shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. 12 total. Once you reach your 12, you can set both of those weights down off to the side, shake it on out. So like I mentioned, we are going to kind of steer clear of a lot of the lunge type motions tonight. So I'm going to kind of try to give some of those muscle groups a little bit of a break. If you didn't get a chance to do Monday's workout, it's on the YouTube channel now. So if you want to go back to fit class from 2 days ago, feel free to be my guest. Today though, with the lower body, we're going to focus a little bit more like of the smaller, like inner and outer thigh. We are going to hit some quad and some glutes and things like that as well, but maybe some of those smaller muscles just to target so we're getting a little well-rounded in our week. So with these sumo deadlifts, that's kind of the point. You're using your hamstrings. You're always using your hamstrings with the deadlift, but when you do sumo style, you're always going to work a little bit of your inner and outer thigh. So when you're doing that deadlift, make sure you're still feeling everything from behind for the most part, but you're also going to feel a little bit more coming up in the inner outer parts of your thigh just because they're rotating and keeping those legs open a bit more. Let's think about that as we go into our second set. So taking your weight right in by your hips, take your nice wide sumo stance, toes out to the side, unlock the knees, and then we're pushing our hips back, back stays flat, we reach down, we pull, we come back up. So remember, it's just a very minimal bend in the knee, more of a maximal bend through our hips. Keeping our core tight so we don't lose our back position. $12 total. And then if you're using different size weights, you might need to just take a moment to switch out. Otherwise, make sure you have 2 dumbbells. For second part, upright row, feet come right back in underneath your hips, unlock your knees, watch those shoulders, drop them away from your ears. Inhale, exhale, pull straight up and release down. Second set of 12, upright row. $12 total. And then set those weights down. Shake out those arms a little bit. I'll grab a quick sip of water before we go into our last set here. All right, last set, we're going back to those sumo deadlifts. 1 weight, 2 weights, whatever you need. Find that sumo stance. So heels wider than your hips, toes out to the side, shoulders down, weight at your hips, unlock your knees, bending your hips back, going as far down as you can without compromising your back position. $12 total. Once you reach your 12, switching out, make sure you've got 2 weights. For our last set of upright rows, feet underneath your hips, knees unlocked, shoulders down, elbows up to the sky. 12 upright rows, last set. All right, 12 total. Once you get your 12, set those weights down. Those arms, shoulders, a good shake out. All righty, guys. So moving on, this is where we're going to start to incorporate a little bit of that loop band exercise. So we're going to be doing side steps first. Okay, so grab your loop band. You might need to have your chair nearby. Sometimes it's just better positionally. It's just kind of a small opening. Just to sit to get your feet in properly. So we're going to be taking the loop band and we're going to be putting it about like mid shin height. Okay, so you want 2 feet in the band, in the loop, and you're going to bring it to about mid shin height. Okay, once you get it there, you can come to standing. So side steps, these are the same as when we do monster walks. So if you don't have a loop band, you could do this with a regular band, and we cross and hold at our hips. So we're going to start in kind of like a half squat position. Okay, so our feet are about our hip width distance. We're going to sit back a little. Okay, so we're not sitting back all the way, but enough so that you start to feel tension in your legs and you're feeling that band pull you out to the side. Okay, so you're not like collapsing in the middle. From here, we're going to take a wide step out with our right leg, and then we take a small step in, just coming back to squat stance. Okay, so it goes wide step out, small step back to squat stance. We're going to do 12, stepping out with our right in and out, and then you can come up, take a quick breather, then sit back down. We're going to do 12 with our left leg. You're going to feel this really start to fire up on your hips and in your glutes. Okay, so 5 squat stance first, sitting back slightly, knees are bent, wide step out right, small step back to squat stance. Let's do our first 12 on our right side, trying to keep those knees bent the whole time. You're kind of keeping this partial squat position. Don't let those knees cave in. Once you get 12, take one quick moment just to come back up to standing, relax your back, your knees, your quads, your hips, and then sit back into it. And let's get our left side now. So stepping out, wide left, and then coming back to squat stance. Now we're going for 12. All right, should be burning a little bit by the end. Once you reach your 12, you can either sit, or if you're comfortable, you can stand just to get yourself out of the loop band. You can set it behind you a little bit out of the way. The second movement we're going to do tonight, you're going to need dumbbells for. Quick mention though with that exercise, just like we step, we think the outside of our foot, we lead with the outside of the foot for lateral lunges. Same thing. So don't get here and then start to like rotate to step out to the side. Lead with the side of that foot. All right, grabbing those weights. With our weights, we're going to be doing external rotations. You're going to keep the elbows low for these tonight. Okay, so you're going to grab your weights. You're going to bring yourself to 90-degree angles with your elbows. Okay, so this is our starting position here. Weights are up, shoulders are down, knees are unlocked. We're going to open out to the side like we're opening a door. We feel that squeeze in between our shoulder blades. We release, we come forward. Okay, so open, squeeze, release forward. We're going for 12. Open, squeeze, release forward. Inhale, exhale. Shoulders are down the whole time. Keep those arms at 90. $12 total. Once you get your 12, let those arms down, release. And you can set your dumbbells down off to the side. Relax those shoulders, relax those arms. Shake it out if you need to. If you're doing the loop band, you can go ahead and get started, get ready, get that band back in position. I'm just gonna do a really quick demo. If you don't have a loop band, just a reminder of how to do this with a regular band. We crisscross, we're at the hips. You guys are a little familiar. That one I generally call monster walk. You end up looking a lot funkier. If you don't have a loop band and you have a regular band, you can do those instead. If you got the loop band, let's get it on mid-shin height. Make sure it's flat. I like to get the thick loop bands because they don't roll as much. Sometimes the thinner ones that like roll and bunch up on you, and then sometimes that's not comfortable. Nothing wrong with it. It just kind of hurts sometimes when you're exercising. Okay, finding that squat stance, sitting back slightly. We're stepping out wide. we're stepping back in. We're gonna go 12 right, pause in the middle, and then 12 left. Once you hit your 12 on your right, you get a second to kind of come up, pause, release, extend your legs, take a moment. And then when you're ready, sit back in, partial squat, knees are bent, hips are back. Remember, you're keeping tension the whole time. Don't let those knees collapse. $12 total. Once you reach your 12, come back up to standing. You need to sit to help you get your band off. Oh goodness, mine's super sticky right now. It's not coming off. All right. Set that band off to the side. Grab those weights. We're going to go to our second round of external rotation. So coming to standing, shoulders are down. Bring those weights 90 degrees in, close to the body. And then we open out to the side, squeeze, then back to center. Second round of 12. Feel those shoulder blades come together every time. $12 total. Release those arms down. Shake them out. Quick breather here. If it's taking a while to get your band on too, feel free to take your time to get that set up. Getting in and out of your band is the worst part of loop bands. I have some fabric bands too, which are a lot thicker than these ones, but for the exercises that I'm doing tonight, I think they're a little too tough. They're good for like when we're doing squats and stuff. That's how I end up having so many bands, is I get very particular about every exercise. I like to have a certain one. Most people don't need to be that particular. But if you have a home gym long enough, you probably will. All right, last time, sitting back, hold that squat position, wide step out, narrow stance in. Hold that squat, 12, and then you get a chance to kind of stand up, release, relax for just a moment. And then when you're ready, sit back in it. Try to keep your head, if you're looking at your head, you want to kind of stay level. You don't want to be bouncing up and down too much. If you're bouncing, it means you're coming in and out of your squat. Like you're crouching under something that's a little too tall for you. 12 total. Once you get your 12, each side, you can flip that band off, set it off to the side, grab those weights one more time, external rotation. Knees are unlocked, shoulders are down. Get those weights up to 90. Inhale, exhale, open, last 12. Those weights up till you reach your 12, and then you can release down. All righty, guys. Once you finish there, you can take a quick breather. With these next exercises, this is where you're definitely going to need your chair. So I'm going to bring mine up. And in the picture, the first exercise, we're going to be seated completely. Let me see, actually. You're gonna move back slightly. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing with my feet. Okay, so yeah, hopefully you'll be able to see this, but listen to what I'm saying as well. So the band, we're gonna be doing seated marches with our mini band, but the way you get it in position, you're gonna position it under your foot, but not under your ankle, okay? So it's kind of like you're stepping on it like you would step on a band, okay? So it's right in the middle of your foot. For this exercise, what I like to do is kind of loop it, make an X. So once it's under one foot, I loop it, and then I put my other foot inside, okay? So it's kind of making a figure 8 over my feet. Hopefully you can see that. So it's in between my toes and my heels there. Both feet are on the ground. I'll show you what we're doing too so that you can kind of test it out. If you're in the wrong position, it's probably not going to feel right. So it's underneath my feet here. I'm going to focus one leg at a time, and I'm going to do marches. So I'm going to lift with my knee as high as I can without leaning back, okay? So this is, you're going to feel this from your hip flexor into your quad. You're going to lift, and then you're going to position down. Lift and position down. So one foot is kind of being your anchor. So you need to be sitting far enough forward that like you actually can put some body weight pressure down. The other leg is going to be working, okay? And then we'll switch. We're going to do 12, and then we'll hold down our right leg. We'll lift with our left. Trying to go kind of straight up, straight down. Try to avoid any sort of funkiness with the shins. Shins just stay relatively vertical the whole time, okay? So hopefully we're all in the position here. We're going to start with lifting our right knee. Left foot is going to stay down on the floor. So we're lifting the right foot up, and then we're coming back down. Lifting from that knee. Feeling that from our hip flexor down to our kneecap. Sitting up tall. Once you reach 12, anchor your right leg and you're lifting with your left. It's the same thing. Now we're lifting left side pull. $12 total. Once you get 12 on your left and your right, that's when you can free up your feet. Might take a little finagling to get your band out. You can set it on the chair behind you. Our second exercise we're doing is dips, okay? So you're gonna use that chair. For dips, you just need your own body weight. Hands are gonna go on the outside of your hips. You're gonna slowly walk yourself out until your butt is hanging off your chair. Knees are bent, or if you want it to be harder, you extend your legs. We're sending our elbows back. We're dropping our bodies down. We're pressing. We're coming back up to the sky. We want to try to hold our shoulders down away from your ears. Ideally, I want you to get between 10 and 12. If you can do 12, I want you to do 12. If you can only get 8 to 10, then do your 8 to 10. Do what you can. The goal is that you're holding your shoulders down the whole time, so you're not ending up looking like this. So once you get your anywhere between 8 and your 12, you can come back up to seated, take a quick breather break here. Quick note, if you don't have a mini band, a loop band for these marches, you can take a dumbbell and just make sure the leverage of the weight is right behind your kneecap, okay? Not on, don't set it on your kneecap, but like right behind so that you're still feeling like you're pulling from that same position. So if you don't have a band, you could set a weight and you just kind of have to hold it there so it doesn't move all around. But if you have the mini band, go ahead and start getting back in position, make that X. So under one foot, and then make that figure 8 to get it under your second foot. Okay, so it should be kind of like a figure 8 covering both of your feet, sitting up nice tall. When you're ready, we're gonna go back to that right side. 12 marches, lifting from that knee, flexing the foot will help. Keep breathing. Once you reach 12, just anchor that right leg. You can start lifting with the left. Remember, you're trying not to lean back as you lift. Only go as far as you can go with control. And once you reach 12, that's when you can release that band off both sides. Set it behind you and then get yourself in position for those dips. So hands come outside of your hips. You slowly walk your hips until they're off of your chair, hanging off the edge, shoulders away from your ears, elbows bend back behind you. You press straight up. Between 8 and 12 is your goal. If you can get 12, do 12. And once you reach your 12, you can make your way back up to your chair. Relax. Shake out the arms and shoulders if you need. Quick story time. So those marches that we're doing it from like a seated position. So it allows you just to focus on the march and the position. For my premium membership, so I have my online membership. My premium one is kind of the more advanced membership, and that's where they do upper and lower body split days. There was one day, I don't know what I was thinking when I programmed it, but I had them do some sort of squat, and then they went right from a squat into a wall sit with those marches. So instead of being in a seated position, you're actually holding a wall sit while doing marches. I heard about that later. What crazy person put this together? I was like, oh, yeah, that was probably a tough one. Little tough, a little easier to start these by doing them. But if you're not feeling challenged, maybe you go do a wall sit at the same time of doing these marches. It does make it harder, that's for sure. Okay, so we're back in position. We've got the figure 8. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna do our last time with these marches. 12 on our right, 12 on our left, pulling from that quad, lifting up, flexing that foot. Anchor that leg down and then start lifting with the left. Total each side. Once you get 12 each side, you can unwrap that band. Set it off to the side, and let's get ready for last round of these dips. Do your best between 8 and 12. Remember, only do as many as you can before you feel like you can't control your shoulders, okay? Just scooting your hips off the edge. Keep those knees bent. If you need a modification, elbows back, extend straight up. Breathe through it. 12, shake out the arms. Do a couple rolls. Nice work. Alrighty, guys, so we're moving along. We're keeping with our mini band theme or our loop band theme. We're gonna kind of do the opposite. I'm gonna teach you guys another new one tonight. We're gonna do leg curls with the band. So you might wanna sit to get in position, but then you might also wanna kind of, once you kind of get in position, you might wanna have a hand on the chair for balance, because this we're doing standing. So it's gonna look kind of similar to what we just did. With one foot, you're gonna have it on just like we did, okay? So it's in between the middle, it's on your foot. You're gonna make that same figure 8, but instead of placing it underneath your foot, you're gonna then wrap or wrap it around your ankle, okay? So it's under 1 foot here. I'm gonna make my figure 8, so I'm gonna make my little loop. Then I'm actually gonna fit my full foot through, okay? So this is what it should look like. So one's anchored underneath my foot, the other's wrapped around my ankle. I'll give you guys a moment to kind of get in this, but I'll show you why, okay? So the one that's wrapped around my foot, that is now gonna be the anchor. The one that's around my heel, that's gonna be the one that's working. So it's nice when you're doing curls to sometimes have something to kind of pseudo lean a little bit onto. I'm not like putting all my body weight here. This is a little bit just to balance. With leg curls, you want to try to keep your thighs, your knees together, I should say. So don't let your knee come forward at all, okay? This, we're trying to focus just everything on the back side. So knees are gonna stay together. That leg that has the band around the ankle, that's gonna pull and curl up towards your glute. This way you should feel is everything from the hamstring, okay? So before we were pulling up with our quad, now we're on the back side with our hamstring. If you let your leg do this, you're gonna feel it both in the front and in the back. Okay, so that's why I say try to keep the knees together. Like I try to think like glue my inner thighs together and just pull backwards. That way you're just feeling it in that hamstring, okay? If you don't have the mini band, you can kind of get into the same position and just flex that foot, pull your leg up and just squeeze as hard as you can, trying to like squeeze through that hamstring. Just kind of go through that motion, okay? So hopefully we all made it into this position. We're standing behind our chair, knees are together. We're gonna lift that leg back, squeeze, and then lower down. We're gonna do 12, and then we're gonna take a moment to switch our position to the other side. Breathe. Once you reach 12, if you need to sit to reposition, you can, but that means your right foot now is it's gonna come in between the toe and the heel. The left foot you now want wrapped around your ankle, okay? So you just kind of have to switch positions there, get yourself repositioned, knees together. And now I'm doing the same thing. I'm just doing it on my left side for 12. Total. Once you get 12 on both sides, again, it's better for you to sit so you don't feel like you're falling over to get yourself in and out. Go ahead and do so. I'll give you guys a second to come out. You're gonna want to take your mini band off because we're gonna use our mini band for our second motion as well. Okay, so after the leg curls, you're gonna take that mini band and now I want you to wrap it around your wrist, okay? So it's wrapped around your wrist, nothing fancy or figure 8 here, just standard wrapping around your wrist, okay? From here, I want you to actively kind of think about pushing out to the side. So you should feel that tension. So if you release all the way, the band's gonna slip down. So hold that tension, hold those shoulders down, and then I want you to slowly lift your arms as high as you can go without arching your back or without raising your shoulders. And then you're gonna release, you're gonna come all the way down, okay? So we're doing front raises all the way as high as you can control, and then coming down. You're pushing out to the side the whole time. And breathe. Keep those knees unlocked. Keep those shoulders down. Feel everything on the side of the arm. And 12. Once you reach your 12, you can release those elbows, shake it out. So you really should feel that kind of like all the way down, lateral part of your arms because you're really actively pushing out all the way. All right, we made it through our first round. Hopefully you guys figured out that foot position. It's okay if it takes a moment to kind of get yourself in and out. I told you with the loop band, sometimes that's the worst part is getting your feet. And it depends how much space you have, how much space you have in your loop. But let's go ahead and start getting back in position. So I'm looping it underneath my left foot, and then I'm making my figure 8 to get it wrapped around my right ankle. So left foot, right ankle. That's to get my right leg curl. Once you're in that position, you get yourself behind your chair. Keep those knees together. Don't let the knee come forward. You can kind of rest, lean forward, balance on your chair, and then you're pulling that leg back, curl and release down, feeling that in your hamstring, going for 12. Well, total. And then you got to switch. Like I said, if you need to sit to reposition, do what you got to do. Get it under your right foot. Left foot is ready to do the curls. Don't let that knee come forward. 12 total. And then the tricky part, getting your legs out. Unwrapping yourselves, bringing that band up, looping it around your wrist. I keep my hands kind of in blades when I do this too, just because it's easier than closing. Actively pushing out to the side, shoulders are down. We lift as high as we can, and then we release down. We're going for 12, feeling that on the side of our arm the whole time. And breathe. 12 total. And then relax. Shake out the arm. Drag a quick sip of water. Then we're going to get ourselves in position one last time around. So with these like leg curls or these marches, extensions, things like that too, with the bands, if you have something really heavy, you can put the band underneath. It kind of makes it a little easier. You don't have to use your own foot as an anchor. You can make that figure 8, and then you can just worry about putting the working leg in. You just have to make sure it's something that's not going to go anywhere. Like the leg of this chair is not that, this is not heavy enough. The second I go to pull, the whole chair is going to move back towards me. So if you have like, you know, something heavy enough that you could like get it underneath, but something you could lift to get underneath, you could potentially just anchor your band to something. So sometimes I do that using, because we have a barbell. And so I have this barbell cage. So this is pretty heavy with the barbell sitting there. I can usually wrap something around it, and that this barbell cage is not going to go anywhere. This is why I show you how to wrap it around your foot. That way you don't have to even anchor it to. At least you anchor it to yourself. And hopefully you're not going anywhere. Hopefully no one's fallen over yet. You're probably more likely to fall over putting the band on than you are to actually do the exercise, to be fair. All right, once you get in position, whenever you're ready, you guys know what to do. We're gonna do 12 more each side. Last time through leg curls. Once you get your 12 on one side, take your time, reposition, get yourself ready on your second side. Ooh, I'm hearing some thunder. Whatever weather was at Faye's house coming to my house, making its way. Twelve leg lifts each side. Leg curls, not leg lifts. Getting my wrong terminology. I won't teach you wrong. All right, around the wrist, last time. Front raises, shoulders are down, knees are unlocked, actively pushing out to the side, reaching as high as you can, and then releasing down for 12. Twelve total. And you can release those arms down. All right, guys. Set those bands off to the side. Nice work. We're going to use our chairs again. We're going to find ourselves seated position so we can go through our stretches. Take your time, grab your water if you need to. Let me get my chair back in position. All right. Sitting up nice and tall. When you're ready, let's extend our right leg out, heel down, toe up, stretching out those muscles we were just working with, those leg curls. And then bringing that right leg in, left leg out, heel down, toe up. And bringing that leg in. Let's take our right leg up above, hip opener stretch. Let's let that glute just open out to the side. So we worked a little bit, pretty much with most of our leg exercises. We hit a little bit more of the outer hip tonight. You'll feel that a little bit more. Might be a little tight. And taking the hand to the outside of the knee, reaching behind, looking over your right shoulder. Oh, yep, there. There's another flash flood warning for you. Coming back to center, switching sides. Hip opening out to the side. And then add that spinal twist on, hand to the outside of your knee, turning around, looking behind you. And then coming back to center, you can release that leg, shake it on out. Let's take our right arm, bring it across our body. And then release, switching opposite side. And then take both arms behind your back. Pull those shoulder blades together. Open up your chest. Pull those hands away from your low back. And then release those hands, arms overhead. Reaching up to the sky. Over to the right side. And back to center, over the left side. And one more time, up through center, inhale. And exhale everything out and down. Roll out those shoulders. Nice work, guys. Rain just set in.